YouTube, welcome to week 11 pregnancy vlog. I do want to give fair warning, I did not make notes for this pregnancy vlog. I don't have anything written down for week 11 because I haven't really had any new symptoms this week. Actually, I don't know if I've really had any symptoms at all this week, so I didn't really have anything to talk about. Let's see. I do apologize for my appearance. I don't really feel very well this morning. I don't feel nauseous. I don't feel like I have morning sickness or anything. I just have a little bit of a stomach ache. And I don't get sick very often, and when I do, it's not fun. I mean, I guess I technically wouldn't consider myself sick. My belly is rumbling, and it's funny because I was fine last night when I was sleeping, and then I woke up this morning and I haven't eaten anything, and my stomach starts hurting. So weird. Anyway, there are a couple things that I do want to talk about in this video. And this video, I'm hoping I'm not going to offend anybody in this video, because there are some things I'm going to talk about that I'm sure many of you have already have an opinion on, and that's perfectly fine. I would never expect for all of my viewers to agree with me 100% on stuff that I talk about. So I'm going to try to go through these two things that I want to talk about without really picking on anybody for their beliefs, I guess. The first thing I want to go over is my birth plan. I've had a couple people ask, you know, what my birth plan is, and honestly, I really feel like I'm in the minority on YouTube as far as my birth plan, and I'm okay with that. You know, like I said, I wouldn't expect everybody to agree with me on everything and vice versa. Anyway, I know a lot of ladies are really into the natural birth and water birth and no pain medicine, and I don't disagree with that at all. I think it's great if you can do that. I'm not going to do that for my birth. I've had 3 girls so far, and all 3 of them I have had an epidural, and I had no ill effects and no problems. Just to kind of quickly go over my birthing experiences. With my first, you know, I went into the hospital and I got my epidural, and it was really nice to be able to sleep during the laboring process. I think for me it's important for me to get rest up until that point, because then I feel like I have energy to do things that I am required to do. So I got the epidural, and then when it came time to push, being my first, you know, I guess it's the same for everybody. You're just kind of learning on different techniques on how you can push and the easiest way to push, and I wasn't completely numb. I did feel the pressure of the baby, of my daughter, moving out, so I don't feel like I was completely in the dark and I had absolutely no idea what to do. I did notice that you know, the nurses and the doctor, they were cueing me to push. And eventually I figured out, obviously I couldn't feel my contractions, but I could feel my stomach. And I realized that when my stomach got hard, that's when they wanted me to push. So I figured that out easy enough, and I think I pushed for about 30 minutes, and her head was there. She just wasn't coming out because she was a big baby, and I don't want to say that I'm super petite, but I don't know, I guess I am kind of on the smaller side, so in my opinion, she was just having a harder time coming out of the birthing canal. Anyway, the doctor did have to put the suction on her and help assist her out. She was 8 pounds 2 ounces. When I got pregnant with her, I was 99 pounds, so I was a pretty skinny girl. Anyway, with my second child, I once again got the epidural, and when it came time to push, I pushed for maybe 10 minutes, and she came out just fine, no problem. She was only 6 pounds 7 ounces, and I didn't have any problems with her. And then for my my third baby, my last child that I've had, I also got the epidural with her. And she was very stubborn, unfortunately. When it came time to start pushing, or for her to move down into the canal, she wouldn't stay in the proper position. She kept moving, and the doctor and the nurses would have to come and palpate my stomach to get her to turn in the right position, because she'd either turn sideways or she'd flip or whatever. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyway, when she finally did get into the birth canal, she was not coming out properly. The part of her head that was supposed to come out first, she was slightly sideways. So she was coming out with this side of her head. And I'm actually very thankful that I did have the epidural with her, because I pushed for an hour and a half because she was coming out with this side of her head instead of the easy part of her head that's supposed to come out first. So anyway, after she finally came out, she was only 7 pounds 9 ounces, and after after having her, I didn't have any ill effects, no side effects from the epidural, nothing, no issues, no problems, no complications. I do want to say that I have a decent pain tolerance level. I just definitely think that labor is very high up on the pain scale, and it's just my personal opinion that if I don't have to go through that pain, why do it? Either way, natural, epidural, drugs, no drugs, I'm still going to have a baby. So it's just my personal opinion. I agree in getting an epidural. As far as the other pain medicines, the other narcotics, I would prefer not to have those, just because I don't want anything that's going to affect the baby. But as far as an epidural goes, I'm all for it. So my birth plan is not really a plan at all. I mean, number one, get the baby out. That's all that's important. I've had the same doctor for all 3 of my children, and I will have the same doctor for this one as well. I trust her 100%. She has a medical degree. I don't. So if she's going to suggest something, if it's something I think is a little funny, I'm going to ask her about it. But for the most part, I trust her to do what I think is right for me and the baby. She's never let me down before. She's never done anything that I was like, man, I wish she hadn't done that, So, anyway, there's not really any plan for me. I don't want to say that I think it's silly to have a birth plan. I just, I guess some people, think it's smart to have a birth plan. I just think that birth is something that's so unpredictable that you can't really plan for it. You just kind of have to go with the flow. I mean, there are some things that you can, plan for and more than likely are going to happen, but I didn't have a birth plan for any of my girls. And, when I started having contractions, I went to the hospital and I had a baby, and that was it. So, yeah, that's pretty much all for my birth plan. Like I said, I really feel like I'm in the minority on YouTube because most of the women that I watch are doing, water births and completely natural everything, and I'm not doing that. Just watching everybody else, it makes me hurt for them. I know some of you are probably thinking, oh, the woman is supposed to give birth. That's what she's, her body is made to do that. And I know, I understand that. I really do. But I do think that, we're given medical advances in this day and age for reasons, so why not use it? Okay, so on to the second thing that I want to talk about. I actually had no idea that this even existed until recently. Seeing it on YouTube, many women are starting to do this, and that is ingesting your placenta. Now, like I said, I had no idea what it was. I had no idea that this existed, but I've been seeing it a lot on YouTube. Seems like the most common way for women to be ingesting their placenta is through placenta encapsulation, where you basically take your placenta and you put it in little capsules, and yeah, you just take it in pill form. So anyway, I've noticed, sorry, I had a hair on me. I noticed there are two sides of this ingesting your placenta thing. There's not really any gray area for anybody. People either think, oh yes, it's awesome, it's great, it works, or they're like, that's disgusting, why are you doing that, it's just wrong. So, I kind of have an opinion myself, but I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence. Me personally, I know women do it to, they say that it cures postpartum depression or prevents it from happening, or helps with the healing process after birth, and maybe it helps their tummy shrink down faster and increases milk supply. I can't say for sure whether or not it works. I've never done it before, so I'm not going to go up to somebody that does do it and tell them that they're stupid for doing it, because I don't know from first-hand experience. And then the opposite side of this is, people are thinking, you're disgusting, why would you eat your own placenta? It's just gross, it's not meant to be eaten. The list just goes on and on and on. So, what I've done is, I've just kind of gotten, I think it's 5 points of this argument. I made it in an animation cartoon of a doctor, scientific medical doctor, arguing with this lady naturalist who, the doctor is basically on the side of there's no proof it works, it shouldn't be done, and the lady, the naturalist, is on the opposite side where, it works. She's done it herself, she is the proof that it works. So I'm going to go ahead and put this little clip in here that I've made, and it's not the best clip. I was trying to find a better program, but this is the best one that I could find to do what I wanted to do. But anyway, this is just 5 points that argue back and forth some of the pros and cons of placenta encapsulation. Now, like I said, this is probably going to be an issue or a topic that most people already have an opinion on, whether they're for it or against it. That's your prerogative. You're more than welcome to have your own opinion. let me make it clear, I'm not making fun of anybody that does do it, and I'm not being mean to anybody for not doing it. Right now I'm just the middleman. I'm kind of getting both sides of the story. To me, this whole placenta thing is new, and yeah, it could work, it might not, I don't know. I know that for the reasons that women do it, it wouldn't be for me, just because I've never suffered from postpartum depression, and I've never had an issue with my milk supply. I've never really had any afterbirth issues at all, so those seem to be the main reasons why people do placenta encapsulation. So if those are the main reasons and I don't have that issue, I wouldn't do it. I'm not saying that, you know, if I didn't have those problems that, you know, I would be against it. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the little clip in now.
Hello. I am Dr. Smith. Today I will be debating whether or not it is beneficial to ingest your placenta.
Hello. My name is Summer Storm. I am a naturalist, and I will be debating whether or not it is beneficial to ingest your placenta. It is now becoming more and more popular to ingest your placenta. Many women believe that doing so will give you energy after birth and help with postpartum depression.
There is no scientific or medical evidence that proves this. However, it has been proven that the placenta could contain HIV, hepatitis, and other infectious diseases.
All mammals eat their placentas except humans. It only makes sense that we do it as well.
Yes, we are mammals, but we are also human beings, not animals. Dogs are mammals and eat their placentas. They also eat poop and sniff other dogs' butts. The placenta is made to support the life of the baby, not the mother. Why would the mother consume something not made for her?
A lot of women claim that eating the placenta greatly increases their milk supply.
The human body was made to expel anything it no longer needs: feces, urine, vomit, period blood. If the body needs this, why would it expel it and not absorb it?
I didn't ingest my placenta with my first child, and I suffered from postpartum depression. I ingested my placenta with my second child, and I noticed a world of difference. It worked for me.
A study was recently done. Several patients' medications were replaced with sugar pills, and they never knew it until they were told. The mind is a powerful thing. Could it all just be in your mind?
You're right. The mind is a powerful thing. If a woman wants to believe her placenta can be helpful to her in several different ways, what is the harm?
Thank you for your argument and your time.
Thank you as well.
Okay, so that just, it's not the best debate. It's just, I wrote this down very quickly. I did a little bit of research. You know, I looked at both sides of the story. There are tons of medical websites that you can go to. They say there's no proof that the placenta does anything for the woman. And then on the opposite side, there are, I don't even know, there are herbalists or naturalists or even just regular women that, you know, obviously they don't have proof it works other than their word of mouth. Yes, it works for me. It works for me. It, you know, it did increase my milk supply, that kind of stuff. So anyway, I just put that together. I thought it would be kind of fun to argue the point, I guess, for both sides. It's funny because the people that, you know, there's either, like I said, it's either black or white. There's no gray at all. And people are either way for it or way against it. I've never seen it. There might be, but I've never seen anybody that's like, oh, okay, you know, that's kind of cool. That's kind of interesting. It might work. You know, they just don't. I don't know if people just don't have an open mind or what. I don't know. But anyway, I think that's it for this video. No, that's not it for this video. I lied. Saying those stories, I completely forgot. I did get a couple baby buys. Didn't get a lot this week. I got a cute pair of little white tennis shoes at Walmart. And then I just got one, is it newborn? Yeah, newborn long sleeve onesie thing. Now I've been making my cloth diapers, and I kind of have a little bit of a dilemma here. Now my husband said that if we're going to cloth diaper, if he's going to change diapers, he would prefer to have Velcro instead of snaps to make it easier for him. Well, I've noticed I like to use suede cloth on the inside of my diapers. It's soft and it's super thin, so it doesn't create a whole lot of bulk, especially if you're using one-size diapers, and I really like it. The more you wash it, the softer it gets. When you first get it, like when I first got it, I was like, oh my god, I am not putting that against my baby's butt, but it does get softer as you wash it. So, hush please! Sorry if you hear screaming kids in the background. Anyway, I like it. This is what I've been using. However, I've noticed that with the Velcro, with the tabs, the Velcro tabs, if you're not super careful, the Velcro will stick to the suede cloth, which is not a good thing in my opinion. So I've had to, I'm only going to make like 5 to 8 Velcro diapers, mostly because of this reason. Because the Velcro sticks to the suede cloth. I had anti-pill fleece for a while that I had used in my diapers, but it is so thick, and it makes the diaper super bulky. I mean, it's not bulky by itself, but once you put the insert in, it just, I don't like it as much as the other stuff. So anyway, I put this in here, and this, okay, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. This is a one-size diaper with the suede cloth, and since it's so thin, you know, the pocket in the back that like some people complain about because it just gaps open, this, you could just fold it down or double it or whatever, and it's okay because it's so thin. It's not bulky at all, which I think is great. For the anti-pill fleece, that doesn't work. You have to, you know, if you fold it over, then you have a lot of bulk right here. I didn't like that. So I thought I would try, I had done this before on several of my other diapers, putting a little bit of fold over elastic in the back. And my lovely sewing machine, I think I spent $200 on that piece of crap, and it's going out. I don't know if you guys can see these stitches. It skips stitches, the thread is always breaking. It's a piece of crap. So that didn't really work out how I had planned. I'm going to have to get a new sewing machine here very soon, hopefully in the next couple days. So that's my dilemma at the moment. I'm sure I'll figure it out eventually. But anyway, that is it for this video. I'm going to post my pictures at the end of this video. When I took the pictures, the day that I took the pictures of my belly and my measurement, I was extremely bloated. I took the pictures I took my measurement the next day, and I was almost an inch smaller than the day I took the pictures. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but I was just so, I felt huge. I felt like I ate a watermelon. So if I look like a fat whale, I'm sorry, it was all bloat. And this week I didn't draw my little fetus development picture. I just don't feel like doing it. Blame it on me being lazy, I guess. I just don't feel like doing it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on my next video for week 12. Bye.